What's up, guys? So it is a cold and rainy day, so we're heading to the shop to work on the van. We're gonna get the grill fired up. It's like 37 degrees right now, cold and rainy. Unload the stump bike, clean the van up a little bit, throw a bunch of stuff in the van, and then head to the shop. We got a new Wolfbox dash cam. Used to have one of those and I fried it trying to hardwire it, so that didn't work out very well. So basically, yeah, we got a new one of those for Christmas, which is dope. Shout out to my mom's because she got me that. And we got some roof racks and some other stuff coming, you know, some lights and some other things that we want to do to the van. Prison break's coming up quick. So yeah, we're gonna take advantage of this nasty day and go work on the van in the heated shop. We got the block heater hooked up, so she shouldn't be too upset. Yes, sir. Stump bike. We got some boxes. We're starting to collect some boxes. I'll fill you guys in on that shortly, but whew, getting the absolute most out of this GPR. So finally I found some more matching ladder racks for my roof. The ones that I had before, they like got discontinued or something, and I couldn't find a set of black ones that matched them, and these were pretty close. So we got a new set. We're gonna end up throwing these on too, and then the game plan is to kind of weld it all together and make like one of those big roof basket things on top of my van, which should be pretty dope. And we'll put some, you know, light bars up there, hold extra equipment or whatever we need to do, you know, maybe some solar panels in the future, I don't know, but that's what we're going for with this. Since I'm recording with the new GoPro that I got, about to unload the bike and stuff, so I'm gonna throw on this little head strap and put you guys in more like a POV kind of point of view and see what that looks like. All right, let's unload the stump bike. And we got a skateboard in here because we hit the skate park last time. If you guys haven't tried the winter edition Red Bull, they're fire. I'm in the process of getting things packed up so I can move, so we'll talk about that at a different time, but that's why I'm starting to collect some of these boxes and stuff from work so I can pack some stuff up, because I got a lot of stuff. KLR, little sneak peeky. Uh-oh, come here. Just gonna put this here for now. Curious of what the audio is gonna sound like this too. I got it on the voice mode, so should be predominantly focusing on my voice. I'm not trying to like talk louder than I normally talk or anything, so try and keep my pronunciation level the same as we're experimenting with different settings and stuff. But compared to, you know, my van's kind of loud, so curious to what it sounds like with the van running and all that good stuff. This is also probably a cool little view of how the pit bull setup works. Locks it right in there. We got no tread on this tire, and it's cold and rainy, so we're gonna try not to slide too much. Get out of the van as soon as we can. Just like that. Nice and easy. We're not gonna bring the ramp, new roof rack, ladder racks, whatever you want to call them. Let's try this out. Full box of lights and wires and fun 7.3 parts. We're just gonna chuck this whole thing in the back. Something like that. More coffee helps. All right, I think that's all we really need right now. We're gonna back the van up and get a few more things, and then we'll head to the shop. She's getting there. She's a cold-natured 7.3 for sure. A lot of this new stuff for me is just experimenting, you know, with different audio functions and what I got to do if I need a lapel mic or some kind of exterior mic while I'm vlogging in the van, because unfortunately the van is a little loud, so sometimes it does have a lot of background noise to the videos. So we'll see. Only one way to find out. Just kind of mess around with it and vlog around and go from there. Kind of a rainy day today. Not too bad. It's a little cold, but the rain's pretty light. We're on the way to the shop. It's awesome that I can always come, you know, and work on my stuff at the shop like I need to. They let me do that kind of stuff, so that's always dope, and I'm always greatly appreciative of that. Got to get this girl going so we can trek all the way down to Florida in the next month or so. Got a 13-hour trip or whatnot down to the abandoned prison where we hold the prison break sesh. Always a sick time, can't miss it. So we got to make sure this unit is ready to go. It's going to be a long haul there and back, and also you got to be prepared for things like camping and showering and food and all of that stuff. There's like nothing down there, so you got to really come prepared. This year I really want to bring the KLR. I think it'd be dope to bring an adventure bike down there and maybe dip off and go exploring, you know, go towards the Keys or maybe towards Ocala and some wooded area trails. I'm not really sure. Haven't done a lot of research yet, but it would be pretty dope to bring the KLR. I'm pretty impressed with this GoPro so far. It's definitely the nicest GoPro I've ever had. It's the newest one, the 13 Black. I still have 2 sessions, which are really fun to like kind of mount wherever you want to mount because they're so tiny and easy to work with. But this GoPro 13 is pretty nice. I also switched back to the stock lens. So right now I'm running the stock lens 16:9, whereas when I was unloading the bike and kind of talking to y'all earlier, that was all with the larger wide lens that I bought, which is really nice when you're doing like POV shots on the stunt bike and stuff. Most of you guys know that the van was in an accident recently, and we got it pretty much all fixed up. I replaced the whole front end for the most part. Waiting on getting a new windshield, and we still got to repair this airbag cover over here. Wonder what the POV would look like. I got it on my forehead right now. Probably a cool view. Might be too high up here. And I was just thinking, we've got a lot to do and not a lot of time. Prison break's coming up at the end of February, so we've got like we got a month. I'll say a month. We got a month to get it all going. So we got to do the Wolfbox. We got to fix my trans temp gauge. As you can see, it's going kind of nuts right now, and it's definitely not 10 degrees. We've got to do the roof. We have to fix our battery bank because with the accident, my battery slid forward and actually broke the little divider wall where I had it all set up underneath my bed, so we have to go and repair that. Everything else from the accident is pretty much all fixed. We pretty much got it all good as it's gonna get for now. We do have to get a new windshield. My windshield's still cracked, so that kind of sucks. I'm definitely not driving to Florida with a cracked windshield. It's getting pretty bad. It's actually like splitting from that side all the way over to here. So yeah, I'm not trying to drive long distance with a busted windshield, so we're gonna get a new windshield. And then other than that, we're gonna start doing a bunch of, you know, kind of interior van stuff to make the camping experience a lot better. We got to get our shower ready, try and figure out situations for water storage, hot water, all that fun stuff. It's going to be hot too, which, you know, I have a diesel heater in my van. It's easy to stay warm, but it's not as easy to stay cool. The max air fan only does so much work. I don't know what this person's doing. Just go. You got it. You got it. Stop in this Circle K real quick and grab some stuff for the day before we go over to the shop. Yes, sir. She's looking pretty good, you know, from 15 feet away. Got the front end and everything back together, so as good as it's gonna get. Got my light bar down there below, but I still want to put my other lights back in my grill like I had them before. And I got to switch out these light bulbs and put the brighter LED ones in there, because these ones are like the stock ones and they're just not cutting it. But got my little corner lights back in there, so she's coming along. Let's get this girl inside. We're good. I'm not gonna go too far in. We're gonna get some of this stuff going, start prioritizing some of these things that we need to do, and we'll go from there. Let's get it. I just realized I forgot to put my boots on, so I guess we're crocking it today. At least they're the fuzzy Crocs. Keep my feet warm. Got the Wolfbox, new Wolfbox. You break this out. This is the G840S. All right, so I was in here taking my floor mats out, kind of cleaning up down here a little bit. And I noticed I got some water in this area again. So anytime it like rains real hard, I'll get a little bit of water on my floorboard. So we're gonna pop the hood. I think this is a good time to maybe try and figure out where this is coming from and seal it up. We can pour water down the windshield and let it drain into the cowl on the hood. And maybe if we dump enough water, we'll start to see it trickle down the firewall in here, or maybe through the firewall on the other side. But it goes into this cowl, and then over here underneath this rubber cover is like a drain. It's supposed to drain it down your fenders. All right, well, all it took was a spray bottle full of water, and she is running out of somewhere. Is it coming from this hole? Man, it's tight up in here. It's dripping off this harness. I just can't tell where it's coming from. Definitely found our leak, guys. Look at that. It's dripping right out of this wiring harness. I mean, it might as well be a hose. We're gonna have to, this is something I installed, I believe. We're gonna have to figure out where this goes and seal that hole up from the inside, and then we're gonna seal it up from the outside even better so that it doesn't even get in here. But yeah, look at that. All right, well, we're definitely getting somewhere. I went ahead and removed my coolant reservoir so that I could get access back here. And as you can see, everything is pretty wet back there. It's not good. We're not supposed to have that much water dripping down on there, especially on the electrical connectors. We don't want that. And it's dripping down on that plug back there. But we're making some progress. We found that there is it's kind of tricky to see down there with the GoPro and everything, but there is a wiring harness that comes through here, and it's for there it is, if you can see it down there, and it's for my windshield wiper motor. And basically the rubber grommet has pushed down, and that's what's allowing all the water to get through that grommet hole and drip all down on here excessively, instead of draining out the drain where it's supposed to drain. So we got to work on getting that sealed up better, and trying to see if just popping in that rubber grommet fixes the situation, or are we gonna have to do something else, put some sealant down here, or what we got to do. About that time. All right, status report. So we're just cleaning this up, basically flushing all of this out in here underneath the windshield wiper cowl and stuff. Over the seasons, you know, dirt, debris, leaves, sticks, pine straw, all that good stuff gets up in there, and it kind of clogs up the hole for this drain. it makes this situation even worse than it is. So we're cleaning it all up, and then we're gonna get down in there and try and seal that rubber grommet up better than it is down there, because it's definitely leaking and it's dripping on all the harness stuff down there. So it's really becoming problematic. So what we're doing is we're flushing this whole cal out, and we're gonna dry it all out. We're gonna dry out all this harness stuff and blow it all off with compressed air, try and get it as dry as possible. And then I'm gonna probably silicone RTV that rubber grommet up here, and then see what else we can do to maybe we'll run some water after that or something, and we'll take it step by step. But I gotta eliminate all this water. I can see where, you know, that bracket where this computer sits and stuff has some rust on it where water gets onto it, and there's just a lot of water in here, and I really don't want it to be problematic for all these electrical components and stuff. So we're making way. Didn't want to take up as much time as I am with this, but I didn't realize that it was as serious as it was. Thought it was just kind of dripping on into the inside, but now that it's dripping over all these wires and harnesses and stuff, I really got to fix this. So we're gonna get in here and fix it right, and hopefully we won't have to deal with it again. So what I came up with was, if you can kind of see in there, and it's not the prettiest looking thing, but what I did was I got a piece of scrap hose that fit the hole, and I ran it up the back corner there and up into the hole, and then I put some RTV silicone stuff around it and kind of sealed it all in. So theoretically, kind of like a sunroof drain or something, it should kind of pull up in that little area and go down the drain. I don't know, we're gonna try it. I'm gonna give it a little while to dry up, and then we can like dump some water down there and just see what happens. I also got to get that rubber grommet and kind of silicone that rubber grommet up as well too, and then we'll let all that dry. We're gonna start on either the Wolfbox camera or our roof racks. We'll let this dry for a while, and then we can dump water down it and reevaluate our situation. So while we're letting that RTV dry for that gasket and the little hose I made, we're gonna bust open these ladder racks and see what we're working with here. Like I said, I bought them off Amazon a while back. Hopefully they match close enough to the other ones, or maybe we can just kind of stagger them and maybe it won't look that bad. But I think that these are pretty close to what we already have. So all right, so it's definitely like a glossier black versus like a flat black. So that's different, but other than that, I mean, it's practically the same one. These roof rack things up here are gonna get painted gloss black, and I couldn't tell in the pictures. You know how it goes, sometimes the pictures are just not what they're supposed to be. So either way, I think it'll work. We'll make something happen. We got the bars. I wonder if the bars are shiny too. Yeah, the bars are shiny as well. Man, I'm not really that concerned about it right now. So what my idea was is to have three. I think I have 3 more now, so I'll have 6 total, which will give me a lot of weight distribution. And it'll also give me individual spots where I'll be able to use some scrap metal that I have out back and weld everything together and make one of those like carrot roof basket type of deal. They're very expensive to buy, thousands of dollars. So we've got about $300 in ladder racks here and some free scrap steel out back. And yeah, we'll weld up our own little basket, and that'll be super cool because then we can mount more awnings and stuff. I want to get a longer awning before prison break, hopefully. So what we're working with over here is one of these little Donchel outdoor awnings that I got popping out. And because I only have 3 of these, I'm limited to a smaller awning. Now it works good folding out of the side door, but I'd like to get one that's the length of the van if possible. and maybe move that smaller one on the back here so that that could pop out the back. That'll be really nice for the heat and the rain and everything else. So that incorporated with the basket and light bars and kind of the stretch steel platform on top will allow us to stand up there and throw gear up there, tires, whatever we need to do, have more stuff. And then water storage as well too. Water storage is a big one that I want to get going. Gravity fed water storage kind of system up top, maybe painted black so it heats up in the solar, something like that. So similar style to the other ones, except this one uses like Allen key fixtures, which I'm really not fond of with heavy duty stuff like this. And I might end up switching that out because it's just kind of cheesy to use things like this with something that's going to be so strong. The other one has like hex head bolts kind of like this. Essentially that just goes through there and it connects to the rod. So we're gonna set 2 of these up for now. The other thing is I'd really like to do a good cleaning up here on the roof and maybe another coat of the roof coating that we use. We're gonna have to work with the spacing on this, but can't really mess with those ones right now because they're connected to my awning, and I don't really want to mess with the awning today. So I think we're just gonna kind of like temporarily install these, and then at least they're on the van and we can move them around. Kind of tricky to start it at this angle. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there's powder coat in the threads, so it's not wanting to catch. No, I'm using the wrong size bolt. Huh. That doesn't really seem right. This bolt does not go in those threads. 100%. So you're supposed to use the small ones, but the big ones don't fit through that bracket piece either. Alright, well, I'm confused because I just double checked every single one of these pipes on the ends and none of these bolts fit in here. They basically put the wrong nut in there or something. You look at our directions, we've got all the parts listed correctly, but if you look at the picture, there's the silver bolt and it's sitting right there in the pipe. And then they got the knobs on the middle of the pipe like I have over here, which fits in there. So that means that this bolt won't fit in that hole because the knob fits. Now the knob also fits in here, no problem, but unfortunately these bolts are the wrong size. Hopefully I'll have some bolts here that will work. All right, we managed to find an assortment of bolts that fit. Hopefully the levels are similar. Hopefully it'll sit on the lower level because it can't go on the top because it's gonna move around. I don't think it'll ever stay that still. The holes are drilled out too big. But we're gonna put one on the other side and see what happens. All right. Not too bad. We'll have to snug these up now and just kind of keep on going down the line, and then we'll mess with the spacing a little bit on these ones, and another day we'll mess around with those, but I think it's gonna work. Okay, so we got them mocked up. They're not tight, so we can slide them back and forth a little bit. Tried to make a little time lapse of that, so I don't know how that worked out. If there's a cool time lapse, you know, it probably worked out. We're definitely gonna slide this one pretty far back. I think I almost want it parallel with the light, maybe something like that. Try and get it all lined up as best we can. Might end up moving the front one, might end up spacing them out. Man, it almost looks perfect right now. It's about as tight as it's gonna get. Okay, all done. They're not perfectly spaced, but that's all right. At least we got them up here, and we got to rearrange this whole situation anyways coming up shortly, so not too bad. Pretty happy about them. Can't complain. Function over fashion, right? So we don't need that Allen wrench anyways. Yeah, pretty stoked about that. Clean up some of this trash, and then we're gonna start on the Wolfbox. Well, looks like we got to do this the hard way, because this camera goes through the whole van. I'm talking through the door, up through here, all the way down, and then all the way back through there. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought. So we're going to have to pop this back panel off to at least get this cable from the license plate bracket through the door loom and here, and then we'll go from there. We got the panel off, and we've got our camera is right back here. Pull that out. There's the old camera. And essentially, I mean, everything worked out location wise. We already got the hole drilled, so this will go right back up through our hole. This one has like a screw mount kind of swivel deal, which I'm really not fond of. I would rather just put some 3M tape over here and just kind of stick this up, and then we can worry about wiring this whole thing through the van, which is going to be the fun part. But it's well worth it. Having this Wolfbox camera is awesome. So we're going to work on getting this old wire out and cleaning some of this up and getting it back installed. So in here in the van, we had our old wires that were kind of running up on our headliner in a loom, and then those would go over and go down to the mirror. So we're just kind of pulling those out. Back here in the back portion of my van, I've got two panels that cover the top here and cover down the side, and what that allows me to do is run wires to the back of the van or to the front of the van, and then down here to my battery bank, which is underneath this seat right here. So we're kind of just backtracking the old camera wire, which I think is this one, and we've got some spray foam up here, but hopefully we'll be able to put the wire on like a coat hanger and maybe poke it through that and get access to the back, and then we'll just be able to pull it through the loom. All right, onto the back side of the van. Try not to fall while I come in here. All of our wires, if you see, I actually have a camera that's hooked up to my head unit radio head unit, and this allows me to look through this camera while I'm driving down the road and check on the load and everything that I got back here. So all of my wires come through this loom right here. Got the wiring all pulled out from the front and got it all pulled out from the back. A little bit of a mess back here, but yeah, all those yellow wires are for my back storage camera, so we got a lot of extra wires that were stuffed back there, but we managed to rip all of this out, It comes all through here, goes down this way, and then goes into the door. And then there was also a wire that comes in and but connects into my reverse lights. Either way, going back in, we're gonna start routing the new harness all the way back through, same way, and put everything back together. All right, piece of metal wire ran through the door jamb harness carefully. Electrical taped the new wire to the end of the rod. We're gonna just kind of work it through. Hopefully we can just slowly and successfully twist this thing. Oh, that did not work. All right, so this time we bent a little loop in the wire so that it can't pull it all the way. We'll just kind of wiggle it on down, nice and easy. All right, there we go. We're through. All right, boom. Got the wire through. Take off this piece of electrical tape, and then we'll be able to keep routing it up. Well, maybe I should have done a little more research. I started zip tying the new camera wire through the loom, and I got just about to the back wall and realized that this cord is not going to reach all the way to my front mirror. It's gonna be tight. I mean, I can pretty much wrap it around the van theoretically, maybe give, you know, if we had another foot longer, but it still is never gonna reach all the way up to my mirror. So that's a problem. It's not gonna work. I looked up to see if they sell extensions that you can plug into this end and extend it, but you can't. The only thing you can do is buy longer cords, and that involves changing this whole piece all the way through. So unfortunately, if I look at my Amazon, looks like I purchased the 50 foot cable for my old one. So this is the outdated version, and they currently don't make this anymore. That's why my cable is different and I had to replace it. But I purchased the 50 foot one, so I'm not really sure what the stock one is. I really only need like 5 more feet, 10 more feet to really make it happen. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do this tonight. We're going to have to order a new cable that's longer and reroute this whole thing. And it kind of sucks because I got this all torn down, so I'm going to have to put all the screws back up and kind of make it tidy, and we'll have to do this part all over again because fortunately I didn't do my research. So it is what it is. We're learning, we're making progress and figuring it out as we go. We're still gonna go ahead and hook the rest of the Wolfbox up a little bit. We still got some stuff inside to put together, so we got some work to do. Sucks that this didn't work out, but I totally forgot that last time I had my Wolfbox I got an extended cable, so we'll have to see which one we need to get, or we'll just order a 50 foot one again because I know that one worked. We had a little bit extra, so should be all right. Throwing everything back together, and I just noticed that there is some nasty black stuff in the bottom of this coolant reservoir, and this coolant reservoir is, I think, a year old. I think I replaced it about a year ago, right before I went to prison break last time, and so I guess it's not too bad. And there's obviously some exhaust or soot or diesel or some kind of contamination getting into this reservoir, but we just gonna clean it up and throw it back in. All right, so I'm washing this coolant reservoir out. Just took some water through it. Pretty nasty in there. All right, so we got the van all back together. Kind of tidied up the loom for now until we can get that extension cable and the hardwire kit. I actually went on Amazon and ordered it a little while ago, so it'll be here in a couple days and we'll be able to finish the backup camera situation. But other than that, everything's nice and good back here. Got the back of the van all put back together, all of our trim panels and that good stuff. Put the old console back here because we're trying out the new center console, so we're gonna give that a go. It's kind of a little bit different style. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom of the floor like this one did. This is the other console, a little bit different. It's kind of dirty, but we're still cleaning it out, but it's pretty nice. I mean, it's got two big cup holders right here, which can practically fit my giant water container that I use. And then it's got another one right here and some other storage here, some little areas, kind of a side nook over there. I don't know, we're gonna try it out. But topping off the coolant right now, filled her up, got the whole front part back together, windshield wipers on, cowl, coolant jug, everything's in there. We topped it off. We started running the motor for a little bit, trying to get some air bubbles out of this, and we should be good. All right, so we just double checked, and I don't know if you can see, but the hose that we ran is kind of dripping right down there on the frame, so that should work out pretty good, and it's definitely a lot better than it was. We also siliconed the hose on the inside underneath my brake pedals down here, put some silicone back there, and redid the wire loom, so hopefully we don't get any water on the inside of the van, and hopefully it prevents water from getting all over the wires and stuff down there. So I think we're all good for tonight. About to close up shop, get the van out of here, and it's getting pretty late. I think it's almost like 9 o'clock. We've been here since like 1, so it's been a solid day of working on the van. We've made some good progress, and I think we're about to take it to the house. We also got the Wolfbox almost installed all the way. Like I said before, we're working on getting that extension for the rear view camera, but we do have our Wolfbox all installed right here. And basically the way that this works is it uses rubber mounts with these rubber straps to attach onto your factory mirror, which is on the windshield, of course. And then you'll have to run some wires. So I kind of neatly ran them up into my headliner up here. There is a GPS box that you're supposed to hook up, and that is so that the Wolfbox knows like what direction you're going. And then I got the OEM cigarette lighter style plug. It's kind of back here, kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna plug it in real quick just so you guys can see it. Give me 1 second, and let the Wolfbox power up. Like I said before, we don't have the rear camera hooked up, but at least we have the dash cam part of it hooked up. So there you go. If you can see that, my hood's up right now, so it's a little difficult to see, but this thing basically functions as a dash cam and a rear view cam. So it's got a lot in the frame. You can adjust the little camera over here by tilting this and moving that, and it will move the camera like so, up and down. And then you can also move it digitally on here, so that's really nice. You can get a really good perspective. Shows you your compass, your speed. Right now it's recording, date, time, all that good stuff, sound. This one actually has Wi-Fi and stuff, so it has a few features that we're gonna have to experiment with because we didn't have that on our other ones. Kind of interested on how the Wi-Fi thing works. Maybe it's just for like uploading videos and stuff, but either way, pretty stoked to have that back. The Wolfbox is really nice, and even though we don't have the rear view camera part of it, we have a dash cam for recording, which is nice for accidents and all the crazy people out on the road. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a rear view mirror, you know, and then if I did have the camera back there while I'm driving down the road, I can select different functions and have both front and rear view cameras playing at the same time, or I can just basically use the rear view camera backup camera as my rear view mirror, because as you can see in the back of my van, you can't see through the back glass. Got the garage back there and everything's paneled up, so we have no rear view mirror, so visibility is scarce, and the Wolfbox really comes in clutch for that. We're all topped off on coolant, so we're gonna get on out of here. Shut this hood. Nice. All right, well, we're about to get on out of here. Just noticed that my GoPro was on bike mode, so I'm not exactly sure how many clips were recorded like that, or you know, how long it was recording like that. But either way, pretty good to go. The van's all done for tonight. We made some good progress, a little bit here and there. Roof racks are mounted up, so that's good. We can move those around and mess with those as we want now. We got the Wolfbox partially installed. At least we got a dash cam for now, and we got our leak somewhat fixed for now, hopefully. So making some progress on the van. Got a lot to do before prison break in February, but we're making it happen. Super hungry right now, so we're about to close up shop and get on out of here and go grab some food and take it onto the house. We'll catch you next time. Hopefully I didn't drag this video out too long, but it is what it is. Sometimes it's like that. I'm trying to make more content for you guys, and I'm always doing this kind of stuff. So now that I, you know, have a good camera and just the kind of drive to want to make these videos again, you know, I'm just going for it. We're gonna keep making the YouTube videos and putting out as much content as we want and we can, and we got a lot going on in life right now too, so I feel like I might as well share it with y'all and make the best out of it. So we'll catch you on the next one. See you next time.